Okay, with E3 all over and everything passing, and I've calmed down a little bit, I have decided to go back into reviewing the Dragon Ball Super episodes. There's things I'm upset about, yeah, of course. And I want to let a lot of people know things right now. And it's usually the ones that are commenting that I'm just ranting for the sake of ranting or just mad to be for the sake of being mad. There's a difference between a well-rounded, educated, fully expressed rant with backed up theories using prior sources from the same franchise, mind you, to justify my anger for something when I know that a series can go above and beyond rather than just regurgitating things and lazily putting in plot devices just so that they can make things cheaply interesting. I will make more in-depth, mature, analytical versions of what I was talking about from previous things, not just by ranting on Dragon Ball Super, but praising Dragon Ball Z for the things it's done. Just simply because of the fact that, like I said before, I know that the Dragon Ball franchise can do better. Whereas of now, I feel it has become more commercialized. It's become more of a toy seller than a storyteller. And that's pretty much what the series has gone about. And the reason I made such a big issue about this is because they're using characters. They're using story elements. They're using things from a prior series that did put in the effort. And they're piggybacking off of it to make themselves successful in ways that have been cheaply done. But enough about that. I'm going to go ahead and review episodes 94 and 95, mostly because one, E3 took up a lot of my time just watching it and, keeping up to date. And also I had a lot of things on my plate in the real world. And I figured not much happened in episode 94. So 94 and 95 both take place in the same setting as well. So it's safe to say that these two can be put together in one bulk review. So the episodes are titled, episode 94, we've got The Emperor of Evil Returns, a reception of mysterious assassins. And episode 95 is The Worst, the most evil, Frieza's rampage. This episode, both episodes, and I'm going to round them all up quickly because they've both been out for a while now. Both episodes, pretty much from start to finish, is this. Goku is going off to go get Frieza. Like, that already has happened. He's going to pick up Frieza at Baba's place. And while that's happening, they're planning his assassination. The other universe, I want to say, Universe 9, is planning the assassination of Frieza. So while that's happening, we see that Krillin is going off to go pick up, Krillin and 18 are going to go off to pick up Android 17. And they do that, and when they do that, we see that Goten, Trunks, and Marin are going to be watching the island. And honestly, I want to see that episode. Please let it be a filler episode. I don't care if people not gonna like it because it's filler. I'm more interested in that episode than pretty much this entire plot line. And that's sad. And it's nothing against the tournament in general. I'm sure the tournament's going to be fun. Because it just sounds fun. It sounds like a childhood action-packed kid's wet dream. Every fighter from every universe just duking it out Dragon Ball Z style. That sounds dope. But at the same time, I like little mini stuff like that and adventures. And it gives Goten and Trunks time to develop. And Marin's there too. So it kind of adds to the comical cutesy side of things. It's going to be good. It's going to be one little ride that I will enjoy within the course of this. And I hope it happens. Just because the manga sort of needs to catch up anyway, I think it'll be a good chance for, things to lighten up a bit after all this that's been happening so far. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Anyway, after that's said and done, we get all the warriors gathered up. Master Roshi has completed his training and he's doing some cool last minute things. And I gotta admit, this is kind of cool too. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It's kind of cool too. But he can't fly and that's still bugging the shit out of me. But whatever. I guess he just doesn't want to learn the technique because originally I think it was a crane style technique. So he doesn't want to learn it. Goku is more open-minded, which is why he learned it in the manga and Dragon Ball. So I got it. So anyway, Once we got all the warriors gathered up, Goku picks up Frieza. Frieza does a jab on Goku's stomach. I get it. It's Frieza-like. Honestly, I'm over the Frieza thing now. Well, I'm not over it. I'm still peeved beyond belief. But if we're gonna go ahead and this is what I've had to do a lot, even in the Zamasu Black arc, I've had to just let it go. Like, I'm still angry at it. It's still a dumb idea. It's still a sad excuse to commercialize a villain that long since died a while ago, and we're regurgitating him again and again and again and giving him so much screen time just so for the sake of we gotta sell those golden Frieza toys. We gotta sell those golden Frieza trading cards. But I'm over it now. Whatever. Fine. Frieza's here. They even changed the ending, so Frieza's there. Frieza shows up, punches Goku, but I do like that Goku punches back. That's pretty cool. That was kind of ballsy. And then all the assassins show up. They're ready to kill Frieza. Frieza transforms golden, but he makes it look all glorious. He ends up shooting off a lot of the assassins. He's killing them. Goku wants him to stop the senseless bloodshed, but it's Frieza. Which, you know what? At least they kept to that part of his character. Anyway, we move on to episode 95. The attack continues. Somehow, Frieza managed to mentally train himself to not use as much, you know what? Screw it. I'm not even gonna try to figure that one out. Because for him to mentally train, that means he thought that he would get revived again. Which means he must have already knew ahead of time that I'm just gonna come back again. I'm Frieza. The fans love me. Like, alright, you know what? I'm not. I'm just gonna roll with it. Frieza can control his energy now on golden form. Screw it. And I know this sounds like I'm clocking it in. When the rumors of Frieza coming to the team were coming, I so didn't want it to happen. But it's clear there's nothing I can do about it anymore. And I've damn near given up hope. So, at this point, the least I can do is make sure to hope that if they're gonna bring Frieza back, since they have already, they might as well make it interesting. Which, I'll give it some credit, they are. Frieza goes off and kills most of the assassins. And while he's doing this, we learn that Frieza is able to communicate with one of them using the minion's transceiver. And he's scheming something. He wants to manipulate the gods so that he to move towards his favor. He's cunning. He's thinking of a plan. And you know what? I kind of respect that. I mean, any other villain could have done it, but I still respect that Frieza did it. Whatever. It's kind of cool to see that there's something a lot more to Frieza than just, okay, I'll fight. But we see that one of the minions actually has a Hakai bomb, basically a god of destruction spear that can destroy anything. That's kind of cool. He uses on Frieza, does this cool little trick on him, sort of similar to how Goku did the Kamehameha energy balls and, tricked Frieza. That was kind of cool. But he does it in a similar fashion. Frieza winds up using it on Goku to take the advantage of the fact that if Goku's not in the picture, he can join Team Universe 9 and turn the tables. Whatever. And then afterwards, I guess his idea of it all is just, okay, if I join the Universe 9, then I can manipulate things into my favor. I get it. It's kind of cool. After that, though, Beerus shows up, and that completely blows everything out of the water because of the conversation that I did a while back where I was discussing the flaw of Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta only because Beerus told him to. Because the minute Beerus shows up, Frieza's a bitch. Like, he doesn't do the whole Lord Beerus thing. He does act a little bit more smarter about it, more brave about it. But you can't take away the fact that Frieza's still Beerus' bitch. Like, that still happened. And so, I'm sorry, no matter how ballsy you look, Frieza, you're still Beerus' bitch. It literally happened. The Resurrection F saga and the movie and everything just spilled your beans. You're Beerus's bitch. They take the minute to have a quick sparring match. Whoever lands the first hit gets to, do what the other says or whatever. They hit each other at the exact same time. Big surprise there. And I will admit the animation to the fight does look cool. So, alright. But after that, they finally gather them. And once that's all over, the tournament is finally complete. And after the tournament is complete, all the warriors gather up. And we finally get to start the tournament next week. Both episodes as a whole, for episode 94, I did like the potential that Goten, Trunks, and Marin have to bring to the whole plot. Well, not the plot, the central plot, but just their own side plot. Like, I can't wait to see that episode. And it did take the time to focus on a little bit of character development for each of them. Like, for example, when Piccolo and 17 shook hands. Like that. That was kind of cool. Episode 95, the only pro I can possibly think of, the only pro that comes to mind is it looked cool. The animation. The animation of Goku and Frieza fighting for that brief moment did look cool. I'm not gonna lie there. This is definitely a big step up from episode 5. Dragon Ball Super, to the very least, has done presentation correctly when they try to. There's some episodes that look wonky, and this was one of the good ones. It looked great. Like, visually, it was one of the most acceptable episodes I've seen in a while. The cons to both episodes can be pretty much summed up in the entirety of Frieza coming back and showing off the fact that Frieza's back, and that goes far beyond the episode. So I guess if we want to focus on cons here and now, episode 94 didn't have much to it other than Frieza coming back, which we already established. So it felt like episode 94 didn't really need to happen. And then in episode 95, the flaw is, again, how did Frieza know he was going to come back or anything? What, you mean you tell me he mentally prepared for something that he didn't even know was going to happen? Plus, the whole mental training thing, they're really abusing this, because in Dragon Ball Z, it was used, the mental training thing was used, but it was used sparingly. Whereas here, it's just used to justify characters getting really strong really fast. And it bothers me. And it feels like they had to jump Frieza up to the level of Goku and Vegeta really quickly just to justify, him being on the team. And it bothered me. Just really bothered me. Like, what is Frieza's weakness now? Now that he actually has control over his stamina in golden form. Because that was Frieza's weakness even back in Dragon Ball Z. When he went 100% full power form. That was his weakness. That was his Achilles heel. Was the fact that he is really strong, but if he fights at his maximum, he wears down fast. It was a weakness. Also, he couldn't sense energy. It was a weakness that that Goku and Vegeta both exploited. So for him to not have that weakness anymore, it kind of makes Frieza OP as shit. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be someone like Jiren or somebody in the tournament who's going to body Frieza with no problems whatsoever. It's still just sort of jarring. In conclusion, both episodes told the exact same story. Frieza's back. Again. Frieza's back. Tell a friend. You get an internet cookie if you get that reference. But Frieza's back. That's it. And I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy here. It's just as a whole, all of it. And you know what? I actually do like the Universal Tournament idea. Which is weird because they already did a Universe versus Universe tournament idea. But this one I feel in fact, should have just went ahead and been the one we go off of. And I get why they did Universe versus Universe just to introduce this one into it. But this one feels like it's actually putting in a lot of effort in terms of development because the saga started in episode 70 something. And here we are in episode 90. Damn near 95, almost to 100, and the tournament still hasn't officially started yet, which means they actually did take time to build up these characters. They actually took time to develop the plot. They actually took time to make this something worth waiting for. because we've been waiting 20, almost damn near 20 weeks for it to, to drop. So, in that regard, I do respect that. It's just so many things. The Broly female nonsense, the Frieza nonsense, it all feels regurgitated and cheap and just a quick cash in. Would it have killed them to make an original character from Universe 7? They did it in the Universe versus Universe tournament. Granted, he was a Mr. Satan only in space, but would it have killed them to make a new character? It's just, I feel the effort slipping as this goes on, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't affect the series long term. But with that said, I'm just glad the tournament's about to finally start. Episode 96, The Time Is Here, to the World of Void for the fate of the universe. And with that said, everybody, I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3, out.